18?
Yeah, that's a bit of a worry, but something to work on.
Yeah, well, that's okay. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. Of course, Melbourne undefeated at the moment, going beautifully. Well, Doug Hawkins is in tonight. 2 weeks ago, he was complaining about losing the captaincy. Well, Dougie, you're still here, pal.
How are you, Ed? Yes, Eddie, I'm still here and looking forward to a great show tonight.
And what sort of wax does Alan Joyce, rather, not Alan Jeans, Alan Joyce, what sort of wax does he like on his car? Because you've been cleaning it all day, I believe.
Well, turtle wax. No, he's settled in pretty well over the last 2 days.
He certainly has. And Jason Dunstall joins us. And Jason, you've suffered, unfortunately, from the Dermot Brereton vice-captaincy syndrome at Hawthorn because you've been out ever since you've taken over the vice-captaincy. Only 3/4 of footy.
Well, 3/4 is something, Ed.
Yeah, 8 goals. Not too bad. And what about Dermy, your mate?
Yeah, it's disappointing to see that get thrown out, isn't it?
Yeah.
In actual fact, I've got to, I have to write an article about him in the Sunday Age this week on why Sydney recruited him. 500 words, I've got 3 I don't know. I don't know where to go from there, mate.
All right, mate, and of course Sam Newman joins us. Sammy, you've come in tonight, you've been made up beautifully. Made up beautifully. Because, Sam, you can't really see, but Sam has got the big cuts all down his throat there. You've been out at the streets of Footscray today. You didn't get attacked by Scragger by any chance?
Actually, I was out at Footscray today. It's a bit hard to tell the difference between Scragger and civilian life out there at the minute.
Hey, Sam, knock it off.
No, seriously, they've turned feral out at Footscray at the minute.
What's that mean,
You'll see
Sam?
later on how feral they are.
Well, we'll talk to Sam about Footscray a bit more, but Trevor Marmalade's with us as usual over by the bar. G'day, Trev.
Nice to be back. Yeah, fine. And it's great to have all the teams that played a game now, and you can feel the fever in the air, can't you? The footy's back. It permeates every level of society. Like, I'll give you an example, Ed. I ran into an old friend who I hadn't seen in a long time, and he invited me to his wedding. He'd met this nice girl playing Twister, and they bought a house and decided to settle down, so I thought, may as well go to the wedding. But a very strange occurrence happened at the wedding. You know the traditional throwing of the bouquet? Well, there sort of seemed to be a lot of jostling on the church steps below. Right? Then all of a sudden, the bride's older sister rose above the pack like a chiffon-covered ablet. And would have held the mark of the year, except her boyfriend went the spoil from behind. Things you see, mate. It does permeate, though, and it's great to have every team having played now, isn't it?
It is indeed, Trevor. But, of course, as I said in the introduction there, the big story so far in the football season has been the sacking of Terry Wheeler, the coach at Footscray. Only 2 years ago, Terry was the AFL Coach of the Year, the All-Australian coach. Of course, he got the Bulldogs to the finals. He coached 2 players to Brownlow medals. But after a win-loss ratio of 1-1, Terry has been given the axe. And Terry joins us as our special guest tonight here on the Footy Show. Where are you, Terry? Come out, mate. How are you? Terry, welcome aboard. First question, how does it feel to be sacked as an AFL coach 2 weeks into a football season?
Yeah, it's a pretty tough feeling. It came out of the blue somewhat, and but I think the value has been shown today, Eddie, where at Royal Lakes at Deltona, I hit my best 3-wood of all time, so I've got a real chance now.
There wasn't a photo of Peter Gordon on the ball or anything, was there, Terry? No.
Well, I'll let that one go, Eddie.
Okay.
Did we, in fact, leave on good terms, Terry, from Footscray?
I feel very comfortable with the situation in that the board are the ones entrusted, Sam, to make decisions about the football club. They've been very straight in the way they've finished things off with me.
So you accepted the fact that they thought that you weren't the man for the job then?
I accepted their decision. I don't accept that they don't think I'm the right man for the job.
Do you think
because
there's
I am.
Bit of a conspiracy there to get rid of you?
I couldn't answer that totally honestly at all, because...
Well, give us a bit of a dishonest answer there.
A dishonest answer, Sam? A dishonest answer would be that the club really was looking towards a good performance in the Foster's Cup. The AFL sent us to Wagga in the centre of New South Wales, where it's not an AFL standard ground, and we didn't win. We lost by 3 points, and unfortunately the board weren't very happy with that result.
Did you think it just came from the players, the dissatisfaction, if any? Did you ever think that or not?
No, I didn't, and all I could do would be cast across to my ex-captain, Doug Hawkins.
Did you sack him as the captain?
Doug and I came to an amicable agreement there.
Sam, the players were full support of Terry Wheeler.
Were they, Doug?
Yeah, full support.
I see.
I'm not saying it was because you're here tonight. the players are actually behind Terry Wheeler.
Terry, how were you told, Terry? I mean, it's a bit hard. I believe they came to the match committee meeting. You were trying to pick the side for the game against Collingwood, and you were asked to come outside.
Yeah, Eddie, on Tuesday night we were at match committee, and halfway through the selection of the side, Peter Gordon and John Williams, another board member, came up and asked me to step outside, and that's when they delivered the news. They then passed that on to the match committee. There was, quite some feelings of shock and disbelief amongst the peers and people I work with. But as we said, that's their decision, and now the club has to go on with and follow that decision and make the rest of the season a good one for us.
People would be staggered, Terry, that a club could go at the highest level of football, could go in and after 2 weeks of a season, think suddenly that you weren't the man. I mean, that is a staggering piece of logic.
Yeah,
on the surface of it.
Yeah, and looking at it on the surface, I would agree. And if the job wasn't being done, you would have thought perhaps at the end of last year. But at this stage, I mean, the last 6 games of AFL coaching that I coached, I won 4 of them. And so where the logic is in it, I'm not sure. And they haven't given me very clear reasons as to why the replacement was made. The reason it was given was that after 2 games, the side wasn't playing as well as they expected it to.
Well, Terry, you're a proud man. You've coached Williamstown to flags in the VFA. You've had great success at AFL level. Your win-loss ratio is in the positive, which not many coaches get sacked with that in their favour. But how do you feel? I mean, on a personal level, going home telling your wife, telling your kids, facing your friends, all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, it's been a difficult time. I mean, as I said, Lynn and I played golf at Altona today, and walking around there at various times you have feelings of anger about it, you have feelings of disappointment, but there are occasions when you have feelings of relief. And I think one of the greatest things that have occurred today has been the support of the Footscray people. Like there's been flowers sent to our houses, there's people calling around consistently, people ringing up and messages of goodwill and all the best for the future. There's been genuine support from the people of Footscray towards me, and I thank them all for that, Ed.
Terry, are you keen to get straight back into coaching after something like this, or would you rather have a break?
Jason, I think where I'm at is that I would like to take a bit of a pause now and just see what else is possible. I mean, I thoroughly enjoy coaching. It's something that I've undertaken since I did a degree in physical education. But I would like to pause now and just see what else is available in the football world. And so I was very eager to take Eddie's invitation to come along this evening and just see how you people go about your work here.
Just on that, Wills, there's been reports about you might be coaching up in WA at Fremantle. Is any truth behind those rumours that you might apply for that job?
Hawk, I would like to keep all the options open. I mean, I'm no different to any guy. I mean, I have a family. I need to work. I need to get money on the table, and so I would have to consider all the options that come up. But at this stage, I'm paused and just waiting to see what will eventuate.
Do you think you might have become too sophisticated for the club? Well, you can become too sophisticated.
Yeah. Sam, you pointed that allegation to me once on the radio.
No,
you did, and then a few weeks later, you gave me one of the greatest compliments I had in football when you said that I outcoached Kevin Sheedy one day at the Western Oval.
Well, I can only speak the truth, Terry. I mean, that great footballing identity, Irene Chatfield, said you were a great coach up until 1992. That must have made you feel warm.
No, you got me there, Sam.
Terry, can I just ask you what it's going to be like going to the game? I presume you are going to the match on Sunday to see Collingwood play Footscray at the MCG, where, by the way, you had one of your greatest moments when Steve Collingwood kicked that goal against Collingwood to win that game in 1990.
Certainly. I mean, if I was coaching this week, Hawk, I don't know how many times we would have watched that replay. I think it was a great one.
Great memories.
I will be there, and I'll be supporting the Footscray Football Club because, I mean, it's been 20 years, Ed, of direct and indirect involvement with the Footscray Football Club, and so I will be there as a supporter of the Bulldogs. All
right, Terry, well, hang on, because we're going to have a look at the teams for Sunday's big clash at the MCG now. The Collingwood side, there are a couple of new players as well, for one new player at least for Collingwood. Todd Curley comes in, who is a player from Subiaco, came through the draft. Tony Shaw after his great performance last week in the reserves. And good to see Tony Woods, who had a broken leg over the summer and a number of injury worries. He's come back in for the Collingwood side, while Ryan, the recruit from Richmond, was out injured. He went off during that game. And Sam, have a look at the sides here as we go through it. Collingwood looked pretty good against Carlton on Monday, and of course Mick McGuan's goal. Buckley in the centre was fantastic. It was a pretty good effort by the Magpies.
Well, they looked sensational in absolutely thumping Carlton, and didn't that make some of us happy? Or some of us, not all of us, of course, because Collingwood were just trying to keep in the competition until they get the staggers again. But of course, Mick McGuan's goal, I mean, you may as well stop kicking goals now, because no one could beat that goal this year at all. So you may as well just not even try to kick a proper goal this year. And of course, as you said,
Buckley in the centre.
Buckley, what an acquisition he's been, and a tremendous coaching coup to offer him $500,000 to bring him down from the Bears.
All right, we have to ask Terry the question. John Ballantyne was one of the best players for Collingwood, rather.
Yeah.
He was a good player at Footscray, of course. You let him go over the summer. Did you think that might have been part of your problem this weekend, that the 88-point defeat by Geelong and then Ballantyne playing so well for Collingwood?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, John has been with us right from the under-19s. He's played some very good football at full forward for us, and at various times had been played in the defensive position. But it's very hard. You need to draw a timeline on some players. John had been there long enough, hadn't been able to crack it. I think it's tremendous the way he's carried on at Collingwood.
All right, well, this is the first side that Alan Joyce has picked for the Footscray Football Club. A couple of new players in as well. Craig Ellis from the Western Jets and Robert West, also from the West Coast Eagles. The new players in for this side: Collinwood, Darcy, Delray, Ellis and West. Going out, Atkins, Beveridge and Croft. Terry, can you tell us a little bit about these new players, in particular Ellis and West?
Yeah, Craig Ellis, as you said, a boy from the Western Jets, a 6'2", running type player, could play back pocket or even down towards the wing, where some of the taller players have started their football. And Robbie West is a boy we drafted back from the West Coast Eagles, originally from Wodonga, and so we brought him back to Victoria. A really hard-nosed little rover guy who'll kick some goals. We brought him back as a replacement for Brian Royal. He should do well.
Would you have made those changes if you were coach still?
Those boys coming in, yeah, they were on the agenda to be looked at very, very soon in their career, and I think they're positive moves.
Dougie, can you beat Collingwood?
I think we can, Eddie. With young West coming into the
Well
side.
said, Doug.
Sorry.
Well said, mate. Yes,
Well, it's going to be a very tough game, of course.
Oh,
We
no
just
doubt.
got to group together as a team and hopefully do the job. You don't think we can beat them, Sam?
No, I'm saying it's a very nice statement you made there. Would you think that you'd actually get a game at this stage? You're one of
I did
about
notice,
23
Sam,
on the interchange.
I did see there was 5 on the interchange wheels. If you were coaching wheels, was I in the side this week?
Dave,
Terry,
you were in the
Terry.
side, yes, definitely.
Another great statement.
Right, you can have your job back,
Thank
Wheels.
you very much.
Terry, did it ever cross your mind to play Ballantyne at full back? I know that Tony Campbell was the prize sort of selection there every week, but he's such a wonderful player. I've played on him in one scratch match now. And,
Alan, John we had played him there on occasions. Probably with TC being there, we didn't have the time to be able to develop it as far as one, so we prioritised the forward line. I think he may be able to hold on to the position and do it well, because he's good size, strong, and kicks a very, very long ball. And from full back, that takes a long way from you two blokes, which is what every coach wants.
All right, Terry, well, thanks very much for joining us.
Just
Sorry,
excuse me
Doug,
for
you've got
1
something to say?
second. Wheels, I'd just like to say this. I've had 7 coaches in 17 years at Footscray. I rate you number 2 and Alan Joyce is number 1. I'm sorry, mate.
Well, Dougie Hawkins has just gone from number 5 on the interchange bench on my list to number 1, I think, in the centre of the ground now. Dougie Hawkins over there. We'll be talking more about the football. All the other teams coming in. Once again, thanks very much for Terry Wheeler, who's conducted himself unbelievably well since the sacking yesterday, making himself available to not only the media but all his fans. Thanks very much, Terry. We'll be back with more on the Footy Show after the break.